Howdy, 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 howdy. Welcome back to another episode of Blender making stuff with Fishy, the Canadian guy who makes stuff. Alright, so today we're going to click on the truck to get started. And if you weren't with us for the last truck series, maybe go back and just make the frame with us or find one of the builds where we make a frame. There's lots of videos I have if you'd like to watch one of mine. If you want to just freehand it, you go ahead. No big deal. You got this. Alright. So I'm just going to go L, L, L over the frame. We're going to P, we're going to selection. And we're just going to separate it for, we can pull the truck frame off and delete it. Because we're going to make a new truck today, right? So we need to get rid of the old one. We're going to reuse the frame just to save some time. And hopefully eliminate some of the issues we're going to have. So today we're going to try to make a SUV. We'll see how it goes anyways. Make sure you're out of edit mode when you make this cube. Make it the same width as the back tires-ish. Sorry, I was just looking to make sure we were scaled, and we are. We seem to be anyways. And that's another reason I reused the truck one. The way that I do things is I have to scale them to import them to my game, so I sometimes reuse the same file and I just delete things for then it's already scaled, but at that point you might as well make a new one. It's no big deal. So just try to get the size of a cab. We're going to make an SUV today if you're following this. Something like that. And we're going to make it a little bit longer. I was going to bump it back, but let's just make it longer. And a little bit shorter. And we're going to hit E. Bring it down. E. Bring it out. Something like that. Have to manipulate a little bit. Again, we're making an SUV, but we're going to have to figure out the shape pretty well. It needs to be a little bit longer than this, because when we add the tire out, or the cutouts for the tires, it's going to be a little bigger. Okay, something like that. That'll work. So I went into edit mode with tab. I'm going to shrink the roof this way a little bit. And you can shrink it a little bit that way. And then grab this edge here. Go ahead and drive it back. Oops, I got the wrong one. Make sure you got the right one. Right click if you've grabbed the wrong one. Okay, something like that. Maybe a little more forward on this one. Not much. Good start. Okay. Maybe you want it taller. Maybe, do whatever you gotta do. I think that's good for us. I'm just going to bump it back just a hair to try to split the tire difference, make sure we're okay. And we will boost it up. And we'll go into edit mode. We'll control R down the middle. Right click to let it center itself. Grab faces up here. And grab a face. Control. Shift. Control left click. Shift. 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 Shift, shift, and if you have them all now, just go to delete faces. Okay, half of them are gone. Perfect, that's exactly what we need. Now that you've done that, we will round it a little bit. If you want the bottom side to be flat, don't grab that edge. I'm going to round the whole thing. Let's go to edges though. And we're just going to stay away from the inside edges, because that's going to create a lot of issues if we try to round them. Like our vehicle sinking in the middle. So we don't want that. And always remember to subdivide at the end of these builds to make sure that all your textures are even. Pardon me. Okay, so we're going to have to adjust our bevels. This time we're going to go 6. We're going to go a little higher end on stuff and make it look just a little bit nicer. But undo that and we'll redo it with the bevels in now. You'll see it'll give it a slightly different shape, and it'll just be a bit nicer. That's what we want. Make sure all the edges you wanted to round are rounded the way you want them to be. Perfect, okay? Back in edit mode, we still have lines selected. Go up here, click to there. Drag it back, nice and even. We need that good for when we're cutting later. This side we have a bit of an issue. It's way too high, as you can see. So we're going to click to there. I'm just going to drag it down. Okay. Oh, too far. When it looks nice and even-ish, you're probably never going to get it perfect, but do your best. Something like that. Might be a little higher or lower, but that's going to do it for now. Hit Control R. Okay. So what we're going to do is make a front and back seat, so somewhere around there probably. And probably going to have to bring the top down a little bit, but we'll see. Looks like it's a little high up there, right? So we'll go to Faces, click this edge, Control click this edge, and Control click this edge, Control click that edge, and just keep doing that until you got the entire top. Oops. Make sure you don't got anything else, because we really shouldn't be grabbing anything else when we do this. Okay. You might have to left click if you off click at all or get stuck and it's not working. You might have to left click again somewhere in the circles. Sure you got it all. And just bring it down until it looks right. I think that's about right. Maybe a little more. Okay. I'm gonna go with that. It's kind of more of a station wagon shape, but we'll see how it looks when we're done. I guess it's still an SUV. It's pretty tall still, I think. Maybe we'll go a bit higher up and down. Just thicken out that SUV shape. Yeah, that looks really good, I think. Hopefully you guys are with me and you're having no problems. Make sure to let me know in the comments if you are having problems. So we'll go ahead and we will make a cylinder. As much as I don't like to use them, we will use one. 0. Get the right one. Okay, there we go. And we're just going to bump it in over the tire. So you can see it's perfectly matched with the tire. So I'm just going to shrink it a bit this way first before we start anything. Something like that. It's just a little bit thicker than the tire, and then I'm just going to do this. Okay. And obviously the reason I'm doing that is for it's a little bigger than the tire. So when we cut it out of the wheel well, it leaves us a nice gap. And it should now. But we got to move the other one into place too. Maybe we'll just make it a hair bigger. Okay. And then we're going to Shift D it and drag it over here. Same thing. Just get it as best as you can in the center. Move around a little bit just to make sure. Okay, when you got it, let's move them both up here. Make sure they're hanging out of the edge. You got no edges that are going to be sticking out after. Make sure you go to about halfway up the tire. Something like that. Maybe I'm past half here, eh? Let's try that. Hopefully it works. If not, we'll redo it. You're just going to have to do it a few times, or you might get lucky and get it on the first try, but sometimes you got to do it a few times to make it look right and just move it up and down or whatever. I think that's about right for me. Hopefully you guys had some fairly close results to what I got. I really like it. I think it's good. It looks really good. You might want to go a little bit higher. Something like that. Okay. Now, if you're going to do opening doors, you're going to have to cut them out. That's completely up to you, but the way I would do that is just Shift D that and just drag it out. If you don't want to do it, if you don't need opening doors, you don't have to do this part. Shift D. Just make sure you leave a good gap between them because they'll attach to each other somehow sometimes. I don't like it. Okay, then just erase the faces you had left. Delete faces. Okay. And then we will grab these windows faces and we'll hit Shift to grab both. Sorry, I messed up. I. Something like this, right? And then probably want to do a little bit of that. Okay. Looks pretty good. And then we're going to hit E. We're just going to sink them in a little bit for the, oops, we went a little far with that. Not so far. Just want a little bit for there's a lip there, but not a huge lip, basically. You can see there's some kind of glass there or something, right? And that's all. Okay, so rounded, we have doors. Again, up to you if you want to do that. You can just leave them in there and just do the window part if it's easier for you or better for you. Everybody's going to be doing something a little bit different, obviously, depending on your games or what you're making. So just going to mirror. I think we're good to mirror. I'm not sure, but let's try it. See what happens. Looks pretty good. We got our doors on both sides now. Okay. Got the full s.u.v again. And it should be perfectly symmetric. So that's why I use the mirror effect, because cutting out the wheel wells and stuff like that can be kind of tedious and troublesome, so I just figured it would save us a bit of hassle. And it really seemed to have. So now we're just going to grab this line. I just shift clicked it in the first place, then control clicked to grab the whole line of them, right? And shift click this last one. Then we're going to dissolve that. Dissolve edge. Okay. If you want to dissolve this one, you most definitely can. It's not really needed. It's just from us making a door. So it wasn't really in the design, so I would dissolve it. You don't have to. Up to you. You can do things to thicken it up in here. Like, we could take this edge, could reach across to this edge, and hit F. Okay? If you want a more fuller or a roof look on the inside of your vehicle, you're going to want to do something like that. Don't usually mention this stuff, but I thought I would at this time. And then I left click them and then control click to follow the pattern around. Then I just hit F again. Okay? If you want to dissolve that edge after. Now you have a thicker roof, and you can do the same on the floor or wherever you want if you just want some like depth to your build. So when you're when you're sitting in the vehicle, it doesn't feel like it's a thin shell. It feels more like an actual vehicle. And again, it's all up to you. If you don't like it, don't bother. It's not a big deal. Just thought I'd mention it, how to thicken them up. If I was going to do the doors, what I would do is just L over the whole thing, and then I would Alt E. Before I mirrored, though, I probably would have done this. So if you want to go back, just hit undo until you get there, and then extrude along normals. Okay, and then just bump it out like that. Oh, it went bad actually. There we go. Something like that. And then as you can see, it just kind of gives it like a thickness. Did I do that wrong? I feel like it should have been thicker than that. Maybe I should have did it before the mirror or before the windows. But it was Alt E, and then extrude faces along normals. Okay. Right click to cancel if you don't want to do it. Just thought I'd show you that just in case. Again, depends what you're after. Quick couple things we'll do just inside of the vehicle real quick. We're in the wrong shader. I'm just going to switch at the top. Am I in the back? No, that's the front. Okay. So, grab this edge. Okay. Control grab this edge. Control grab this edge. Well, you know what? Should I have done that actually? Let's edit. Let's undo. Right there, let's just hit F. Okay. Because then this part's going to be nice and straight. When we attach this next part, it should be nice and straight to our other piece now. Like this. Okay. Same thing. It's just going to give us a depth. Separate the engine from the rest of the car. Don't always show this stuff. It's really easy to do, but I thought I'd point it out. Depending on your build, you might be cursing me, going, why won't you show us how to do this? So I figured I better say something anyways. Always up to you guys what you want to do in your builds though, right? So I just thought I'd mention it. If you wanted, you could probably do the rest of the floor like that. Kind of like this, right? Grab that. Something like that. And you pretty much got your floor done. But it's going to cause issues in the wheel wells and stuff like that. So I personally am not going to do that. But I thought, again, I'd point it out. And if you want to take a couple minutes to carefully grab the edges in the right places, you probably get around doing the wheel wells too. But I'm just not going to do the floor for now to avoid the whole thing. But I will show you one little trick on the floor after that I learned to kind of hide all this stuff on the floor. But we'll get to that eventually. Okay, so we got our doors. We've got most of our windows. before we add anything, we gotta do certain things. Like, we need to bool something out of the front for a grill, so maybe we'll start with that for we don't get in trouble. Oops, let's edit and undo that. Get out of edit mode. Then, when we're out of edit mode, we'll make that cube again. It's gonna be a little smarter, make it this way. Won't be attached to anything and just give us less problems in general. I'm gonna teach you guys to do it the right way. So, just go grab these 4 edges. We'll give it a curve. Okay? Control B. When you're happy with what you got, stop. We're going to be making a grill out of this shape, so you might have to take that a couple tries. And just pause it if you do, and you can catch up after. It's not a big deal. You want to take your time on your vehicles, make them look right. Otherwise, people are going to go, what? Your vehicles are whack, dog. You got the wackest dog vehicles ever. And that's not great. I'm sure that doesn't feel too good. So, just trying to go under the hood, but before we do, we just wanted to, go to the vehicle, go to edit mode, and hit Control R, and then drag this down. Just give yourself enough room for a bumper, and make sure you're not going to hit a bumper on the front. Go to the back, and we'll do the same thing back here. And just try to match it up with the height on the front, so they don't look funny. Okay? So just wanted to do that before we went any further in case we had any complications. I didn't want to make it for we couldn't add the bumper after. The lights are kind of the same. You got to make sure you leave a nice gap on either side for your front lights. So maybe we'll go in just a hair, go down just a hair, just to give everything else enough room, make sure we're okay. When we're ready, take that piece and we're going to bool it from the main frame with difference. Then we're going to go, oh wait, let's go back to the vehicle. Click just the back face here, and we're going to delete it. And if you don't have to do this, if you don't want to, you may not have an engine for your vehicle, and you may not want people to see inside, and that I would just leave that back wall on in that case. So undo if you decide you did do it, but you don't want to show the inside. Okay, just trying to think of like what you guys might be needing or what I might be leaving out of my builds, because I know everybody's trying to do something a little bit different. And that's good, because that's how you make good games, is everybody makes something different and we all have a good time and all that stuff. Alright, so I'm just going to do that, and I'm going to Shift D it again, because it's going to be our inner piece to our grill. We should have no bool issues now, because we're actually using a separate piece to bool from at this point. Okay. So I just gave it like a circular look to it. So now with this one, first off, let's make it super skinny like that, because it's going to go just sit in the middle. And then we're going to Shift D it. And with this one, we're going to go this way. Okay? You do you. If you don't like this, do what you think looks better. And just giving you ideas here, okay? So I'm just going to bump that back here like that. And be a support for the rest of the grill rails. If that works for you. If not, you do you. Okay. Just going to do this quick though. I'm trying to be as fast as I can for you guys. So, something like that. You bump it into place. Okay. You don't like it? Okay, fine. Oops. Shift D. Now maybe you do. Change it around till you're happy with it. Do whatever you need to do, okay? Maybe you don't like that. Shift D. Just keep changing it until you're happy with what you're seeing, okay? Actually, let's copy that one. Shift D. We'll use this, symmetrics, to put it in the right place, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll grab the outer one. Control J. Now we have a nice grill, okay? Maybe yours is different, and that's perfectly fine. We just want to do us, right? So let's do the windshield real quick. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. So we're just grabbing 2 extra on the side just to give it a little bit of extra room. We're going to hit I. Moving in just a hair. E. Moving in just a hair. Okay? Just giving that lip around there. You're probably going to want to color that a little different. We'll do the back one. Oops, sorry, my bad. I should be in edit mode. I'm just going to grab 1 beside each side. I like the size better. Okay? Just hit I and went in a little tiny bit. Then E. Okay? Same thing. So now we have our back and front windows. We have all our doors. Okay? do our bumpers real quick. There's a few different ways you can do this. Show you what I would do, and you guys do you again. So make sure you got the very last one, then control grab a few here, and then control grab. Okay, grab a few here, then control grab, then shift D. Okay, this is how I would do it. You do you, of course. Okay, got a big bumper here, but we have a big truck, so you can always change the shape and the width and stuff after, but for now this is going to do it. Grab that top rail, go to edges, grab that top rail, and then hit control, and then we're going to hit, is this the way I should do this? Let me just take a second here. No, it's not. Okay, so I'm going to hit those two and then hit F. Okay, then I'm going to grab that edge and I'm going to hit control, and then I'm going to just grab that edge there, just sealing it off basically. Okay, do the same thing on the bottom, grab that edge, control grab this edge, should have the whole thing, F. Alright, now if we hit an L over it, we should be able to just move the whole thing as one. So if we want to shrink it, now's the time since we have the whole thing. Just squeeze it till you're happy. You like that? Looks good? Perfect. If you want, you can go ahead and just shift D it again. Okay? And bump it to the back if you want, and use it for your back bumper as well. Just make sure you rename it. If you need to change the shape or anything, go ahead. Just need to 180 here. Not 180 there. What did I just do? Where is that thing now? Well, yeah, don't 180. Okay, well, that's all I can tell you. What we will do to 180 this now to make this work. What the heck's going on there? I think I messed that up, guys. Yeah, I did. Let's go back a couple steps. Sorry about that. Maybe I'll just grab this bottom face, try to fix it. Delete face. What the heck happened there? I think I do know what happened actually. So what probably happened is we didn't put a lip on these bottom ones, and when we tried to put that across, it just kind of flopped instead of making it right. So I'm just going to do that and hit F. Okay. And then grab this very bottom one, and I think you get the idea. Hit F. Okay. Now that's going to just make that bottom better. Sorry about that. I didn't notice that until just now. And I would never let that kind of work get through. make yourself look pretty bad doing stuff like that. Alright, so I'm just gonna go back into edit mode, click off everything, push L over top of it, and then P, selection. Just might make it easier if we separate it to work on it and size it, things like that. Scaler for it's a little farther away and it's gonna move around when you're doing this stuff, but that's fine. So I'm just gonna move it out if that's what I want, and I'm happy. I'm gonna shift D it, okay? Move back here, and then we're gonna have to 180 here, and this time the whole car won't jump, and then we'll just bump it right in, and when we're happy, I'm trying to give you an example, so I'm trying to be quick, so if I miss something, realize that's why. If I'm not quite connected or something, you take your time though and make sure you do connect to these things, okay? I think that's good. So I'm just gonna grab that, grab the vehicle, and Control J. I can go ahead and attach this to the vehicle now, Control J. So we have pretty much our vehicle how we need it. You're going to have to build an interior, obviously, but maybe we'll do that in another episode. Maybe if you guys want me to show you interior stuff and you'd like to go through the entire car interior, maybe leave a comment or something saying you'd like to see that. What else are we missing for now? Your doors will open. Your hood and trunk you need to cut out if you want them to open, but again, we cover that in other videos. So, lights. Oops. Shift A. And we're going to go ahead and make a cube. I thought I'd do another truck. I only did the one, and I know some people are probably looking for something completely different than what I built. Maybe between the two, you can figure out what you're doing, because I know you probably have your own idea in your head. And if you are building something, you want to tell me about it, or you just tell me how this helped you, that'd be great. I'd love to hear about it. I like to think that I'm helping you guys by teaching you guys this stuff, but I don't know who's watching or if you guys are getting anything out of it or what, because I don't hear a lot of comments about it. Get more comments on my game lately. So that's been super fun though. Alright, and make sure you guys subscribe and you like the video and all that stuff, or I can keep on making more. Again, I only want to help people, I don't want to annoy them, so if it's helping, let me know, and I'll keep doing it. Alright, so don't hit your grill if you can miss it. I think I'm missing mine, but I'm just going to put a design in the front of the light now, so we'll flip to edit mode, and I'm just going to hit I, let it shrink down a little bit, okay? And then we already have our arrows up, so I'm just going to push it in a little bit like that, give it a little bit of a taper, and you can see there's something there, right? It's our light. Good, perfect. So I'm going to duplicate it, Shift D, and then I'm going to get rid of the minus, and we have one on the other side, alright? Now we're going to Shift D and bump that sucker back there, and then we're going to 180 up here, hopefully. Perfect. And bump it in. These are going to be our tail lights, but tail lights usually aren't as wide as headlights, so we're just going to go a little thinner like that. When you're happy with what you got, we'll just go ahead and Shift D and we'll put it on the other side. Okay. Alright, now if you want your headlights to be attached, not attached, or disattachable, you're going to want to attach them to your vehicle. So we're just going to do both sides. Okay. And I just grab them, left click, or shift left click, and then Control J to join them. J always joins them, Control J, sorry. So now that we got that, we can go ahead and put our frame on, and we're just missing one last detail, I think, depending on what you guys want, obviously, and then we're done. So we're just going to add door handles to the doors, and to make it look good. I can't know what else you guys want, obviously, without comments, so hopefully this covers everything you're looking for, and you can figure out the last little bit of whatever I didn't cover on your own. Because I did, again, I just don't know what you need. Just trying to throw some stuff out there, because I feel like it was super hard to get started on making cars and games. And I really didn't want to use asset packs and just be another generic game that nobody bothered to play, so I figure there's other people out there like me, and hopefully this helps them at least a little bit. Even if it's just the idea of how to do it. Okay. So when that's good, we're going to Shift D it. Same thing, but we're going to reminus. Sorry. I'm going to remove the minus. I don't know what happened there. My brain just shut down. I think I just hit minus again. I don't even know. Okay. So that's good. And we'll just maybe take this one, Shift D it, and we'll drag it up for the front. And when we're happy, drag it in place. Okay. Something like that. I gotta be careful. If I move this one, I gotta move both of them, or otherwise it's gonna be out of proportion. So something like that. This one I haven't copied yet, so Shift D it. I think it's alright. And we'll just pop the minus out of this, and we should be in the right spot. So when you're ready, grab all 4 door handles and just attach them to the vehicle. Okay. And we should be good to go to coloring, hopefully. So as you've seen, it took some of the colors from our frame already. Well, that's fine. No big deal. We're going to just recycle some of these colors that aren't being used. That's super weird. Alright, so yellow could be for our headlights. So let's grab our headlights. We'll make them yellow. Assign. Oh, you know what? We should do something first. L over the whole thing, L over the whole thing. And we need to find a color to represent aluminum. We're going to do blue because that's what it is all the way around. So then we'll grab the faces. And it's just going to be an easier way than trying to individually grab each one. Alright, so we decided on blue for our aluminum, so we'll do these aluminum. And we can just hit blue, and I just hit L over them to grab the whole thing. These will also be blue, and the inner part will be a different color anyways. So red's taken, let's do orange. I don't think it's taken. Okay. L over top of these, click off everything first, make sure you're not coloring the things you had already grabbed. Okay, perfect. And we got those colored now. You want to do your bumpers? I think I'm going to just leave them red this time. But I will do this blue because this is going to also be aluminum. Alright? And you think you get the idea, but we'll just go through it together anyways. Black is already... No, my tires are separated. So that's why I can't click them. So black isn't actually being used. Oops. Isn't actually... I'm so sorry. Clicking just random things here. Isn't actually being used, so we're going to use it for the windows, okay? Because the tires are separated, there's something different, so it doesn't count. So, you can reuse this color here, and it should be fine. And only if you're going with the build from our previous truck build. We should be able to use the same file, and we'll just give it a different name. Oh, wow. I thought I had extra grab for some reason. Assign, nope. Assign black, there we go. So all our windows are done now. Tail lights, our headlights, all our aluminum's done. I think we're pretty good. I think we've done it all. Can't think of anything that's missing a color at this point. Again, we can get into the interiors if you guys want a little more. Maybe you don't. Maybe you're not interested. Maybe let me know in the comments. But make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like the videos for I keep making more videos. And we'll make something cool next time. I don't know what it'll be. Just kind of decide on the fly. If you got any requests, though, for sure let me know. I'll make it. Or I'll do my best anyways. Alright, thanks for watching.